wanted to say a few words. I wanted to first of all thank the other members that served in the first term. It was really exciting. We got something and started from scratch, and it was a nice go. I think we had a lot of fun. We advanced and we set a nice structure in what it is the PIP system, and we have the knowledge base, and we have a better understanding of what the community is looking for, what the team is looking for, the foundation. It was a nice ride. And well, now yesterday started a new episode with the second season of the DAO with Turn Two, where we have three new members, Signal, Lancer, and Emperor. So I wanted to welcome you guys, and I'm really excited to see what we can do in these next 9 months. And just with this, I pass the baton now to you, Lancer, and let you do your magic here.
Right on. All right, I think I finally fixed it on stream. Y'all are talking, and here we are. So, like I was explaining to everybody while we were trying to get Signal and Emperor up, the lay of the land was, when we start off these meetings. For now, the battle rhythm is going to be we go over the org chart first, and then the quad, then the stakeholder diagram, then we look at the treasury, then we start in our meeting minutes. So let's go on. Slide 2. So live meeting is not going to be amphitheater anymore. For right now, it's going to be the council office. Does it show in real time? And live stream via Lancer, and also VODs posted via Star Atlas TV. VB and I are working that out, but most likely I think it'll end up there, either his channel, my channel, or both. And slide 3. So this is the org chart. Bodhi, Don Carlos, Emperor, Lancer, and Signal. Underneath that is our time zones, just for us to keep track of each other. And under that will eventually be replaced with kind of our swim lanes of what we're after. But right now, we just kind of put, whatever. So that'll change. Where Bodhi, we think he's a tree. Carlos is the governance whisperer. Emperor is the whip. I'm a DAO junkie. I guess we call it the maxi nowadays. And Signal is he's like this motivating extraordinaire guy. Just keeps going. He's an endless engine. Below that is April. Oh, back to slide 3. Emperor, is that you?
Nope.
Who's driving?
Oh, me, but I.
So April 11th is when we started our term, which is yesterday. We're going to end January 11th. And when we do decide on our mission statement, it's going to go right there beneath. Right now, it's just a placeholder until we talk about it. All right, slide 4. Council quad. So first two accomplishments already is we created the org chart, stakeholder diagram, the quad, all kind of these meeting minutes to get after things. Also created the DAO Council email handles, which we may or may not use to create some more stuff to help us out while the foundation processes are while we engage them. And then April 12th, which is today, we are hosting our first council meeting. Each time we have this, we will each add to the list. So for everybody else in the council, are there any other accomplishments that you all would like to note?
Now, I do want to just note that we are just in the beginning stages. I know that we don't know if this format's going to work. We are leaning on um, the experience of Lanzer, and I'm really excited. I hope it works. But I think it's important to let everyone know that we're trying this, and we're going to see if it works. Just like trying to hang out in the amphitheater and see if it works. Well, that did not go so well, but. Um,
So does anybody have any
Yeah.
accomplishments they want to put down?
Not from this second term.
Okay. All right, and then
I
we will
think.
add to it as life goes on. Things
Yeah,
things
and
aren't showing up
recently,
in real time.
just in case we want to add that there, recently just put 3 more pips for voting.
Yeah,
Two
yeah,
are
that's
up right
definitely
now,
one.
and a third one is coming in the next couple days.
So pips, what pips are they?
Those are pips 11, 12, and no 12, 13, and 14. But 12 and 13 are up right now.
Are you slide sharing or slide showing right now? Because it's not popping up as
Yes.
I'm. Oh, click escape.
Hold on. There you go.
There we go. Okay, you can click that little ribbon. Yeah, you already did it. No, you're good to go. Okay. So pips 12, 13, 14 are now up for voting. Who's typing?
Me.
I put it right above where you typed.
Okay.
When did
I
they
thought
go up
that's
for
why I
vote?
was
Yesterday?
getting out of full screen. Okay.
Did they go up yesterday?
Yesterday were announced. PIP number 12 is going to start the voting, which is the bounties, Iris bounty. The feast is going to start the voting process on Monday. PIP number 12, which is, or I'm sorry, 13 is establishing limits on the council, the Star Atlas DAO council terms. And there's one more about to be announced in the next couple days.
Okay, I probably missed that. So 12 is up for voting now. I'm looking at governance, and so is 13. Okay, and then on Monday we're gonna have 14.
No, 12 starts Monday, 13 Tuesday. They are up on the page, but the voting hasn't started.
Oh, got it. Okay, so up on govern.staratlas star atlas. Voting starts Monday and Tuesday.
I guess technically we did take over for about half an hour in the DAO chat, the governance chat. We saw Funcracker off. Drum Carlos cried a little bit. It was kind of embarrassing, but I feel for him.
I'm not
Nice.
embarrassed.
It's okay. It's okay.
So we did officially take over right at the switch over. So office hours, the council hours.
April 11. Second council began. I don't know, counseling.
Meeting.
And we are in the middle of signing NDAs and figuring out the nuances to all of that. That's another
True.
accomplishment.
True. When we do sign all the NDAs, probably can put that one down then. All right. 30, 60, 90. We have 3 of those are gone now. We're on the 12th. What other big important stuff is coming up? You know, this is where we can put the pips for Monday. So on the 14th, we expect pip 12 to start voting. And then on Tuesday, is it? Pip
Yeah.
13 to start voting. Okay, cool. Any other things that are coming up?
Yeah, we're gonna have to establish our regular meeting times, just like the previous council did. We have to figure out what days work for everybody. And we can't really do a whole lot until those NDAs are done with some of that. So, and then we're gonna reschedule the office hours, and I would like some feedback, right? Like the way it was before. Feel free to drop in some times that work for people in the audience. It was at, well, it's 10 o'clock my time with Funcracker every Friday. So we're going to have to establish the office hours as well.
Okay. All right. I
like
think
what
we
you
have that on
kinda
our
put it
agenda
down,
item.
And on occasion, we kind of moved it around. It wasn't super often. It was generally at the time you mentioned, but there was a couple times where we were able to move it. But there was an issue with there being a reoccurring event on Discord and then trying to change the time, it would default back to the original time that you set up the event originally. So you kind of have to like cancel the event and then restart it in order to change the time, and then do it again when you want to go back to the original time. But yeah, that's a nice thing to do too, is kind of mix it up a little bit, just because that one's I think you only need a couple council members there, or even one would suffice, so it lets you accommodate different time zones.
Okay. All right,
And
I think
Lanzer, in this 30, 60, 90, is that like that? Those are like kind of established action items, and is that what you're kind of looking for in this one?
just events. Like what are things
Events.
that are going to take place, whereas accomplishments
Okay.
are things that we did it.
Yeah.
We're done.
Right.
So not all 30, 60, 90 events, tasks, or milestones are going to become accomplishments, but a lot of accomplishments come from the 30, 60, 90 as we do it.
We have a
Perfect.
few peep drafts that we need to go over and start taking to the voting stage as well, because have been
Oh, do
waiting
we?
for a while.
Maybe we
Yeah.
make the top right action items because we're
Well,
already.
two of those are Signals and Emperor's pips. The other one is Matt's pip, and we have the Phoenix pip. We have a few that we need to jump on it as soon as possible, so we can actually help them start the voting
Okay.
process.
Can you up at the top right? I just nixed the what do you call that thing? The risks, because it might not even need to do that. Can you put the new pips that we have to review right there in that fill in the blank? And then decide on meeting cadence, recurring meetings. All right, so there we go. Then at a high level, these are at the top right. Those are the things that we need to do, and then the bottom right is, I don't know. We'll see about that. All right, cool. So if there's no other events, milestones, or tasks that are coming up other than the pips that are going to start voting on 12 and 13, we can go. Oh, upcoming tasks will say all council members sign NDA. I read that NDA, and there's like, it does protect a class of information, but the stuff we're doing right now is not NDA'd, nor is reviewing pips, it looks like. So we can still accomplish those items just fine. All right, and after that, we can roll to slide 5.
Yeah, I think it's the KYC that is
Oh, right,
the
forgot about that.
prerequisite to basically all actions. Where are we going to put the office hours? Like establishing the time for the office hours? Is that in the upcoming tasks or?
Yep, yeah, we can
events?
put that there. Establish office hours. New office hours? Or just adjusted?
Sure.
Adjusted
Just
office
like-
hours.
And it is my goal. I would like to see more than once a week, but like I think that's something I can jump into office hours for an hour at a time at pretty set intervals, and I think Signal could do some of that too. And so I see us doing it a little more often, but that's something we're gonna have to work through. And yeah, maybe we'll try something and see if it works. And if it is multiple times a week and people just know they can show up, it doesn't have to be like super official. And whenever I was in any of them, it wasn't like super crazy or official. It was just a good time to chat with people. So
Okay. When I get off baby leave at the end of next week, I will be unavailable 9 to 5. I'll have to go back to my normal job. So the only time I'll be able to do stuff is after work and then weekends.
Was there another forum? Because I remember putting some stuff in here, but
Yeah, there is the meeting minutes down below, which is what we'll talk about. Whereas these are kind of like
oh,
enduring tasks that cross every meeting. We'll see. It just
okay,
came
so
up with this right
page
now.
carries on,
Yeah.
whereas the meeting minutes is from meeting to meeting. Okay,
Right.
got it.
Right. I
think
mean
put
that's just what I
something-
thought right now. Seems to make sense, but like I nixed all the risks, issues, opportunities, which is very programmatic-y, but maybe we don't need that here. We'll see.
Yeah, it's worth a try. I mean, if it helps, and we'll know
Yeah.
within a couple.
All right, for the goals, I think each of us write down what we want and like a sentence. So for me, we're already doing my goal. Establishing the build and open framework. We're live streaming. We're doing the slides in public, and we're gonna end up uploading that as our kind of like as our documentation. So my goal is being met right now. But if you all have new other other goals you'd like to make known to the group, here's the place to put it.
Yeah, I'm on mobile. So my goals, if I had to summarize it in a sentence, would be process and procedure.
Process and procedure improvement, or do you want to like revamp the whole thing?
No, I'm not going to fix something that's not broke, but just maybe make it more robust.
Okay. All right. I just wrote all that down.
Yes.
Cool.
And I
And
don't
you
know
know
where this goes in upcoming tasks or goals, but man, the amount getting an email address and a phone number and getting on socials, we got a Signal sitting here chomping at the bit, ready to post some stuff on Twitter as the DAO council. So we got to figure that out. That's to me one of the really top priorities.
Well, I snagged both of those Gmails. So you can create one right now if you want to, Signal. I think we needed to vote on it, is what we decided in our group chat.
Yep.
So other than that, I snagged both Star Council and DAO Star Council. Both of them were open. So now we just need to figure out one of them we can use as our file repository, the other one we can use as our social media to kind of keep them separated from each other.
Did it require a backup, like a backup email or something that it's linked to?
It did not. And for the second one, I made the first one the backup. So we're good on that front.
That's in theory transferable.
Yeah. And I put the I put the password in the password thing. So we all have access to it now.
Right on.
Cool. So Signal, Bodhi, when you get a chance, write in your sentence. We don't have to do it right now. And basically the major things that each of us wants to achieve.
I think I added it into the wrong. I think I added my goal into the meeting minutes. I'm trying to look for it right now.
Okay.
Because I think I had. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
All right. No biggie.
Move it over. Yeah, so these are like long-term goals then.
Yeah. Like things that we don't want to lose track of and we want to be reminded of at every meeting. Cool. All right. I think we're good on the quad unless anyone has anything else they'd like to go over. Let's roll to slide 5. As we figure out who's who in the zoo right now, we've got Automata and the people that we interact with, the Foundation and the 2 that we interact with. Those 4 that are dark grayed out, I know 2 of them exist because Pip2 identifies who the secretary and the supervisor is. I don't know if we have any interaction with them, but I'm not sure that we'll need to. So I think it's good to keep it as gray And then as we figure out who else we need to liaise with to make stuff happen, then we can add them as black text. Star Council, I just put the council members. I don't think we need anyone else right now. And then there's the community. I'm not sure if community tools, other than just identifying that they're there for us to interact with and poll as voters. This is mostly just to make sure that we all have the right intelligence of who are we interacting with and where do they sit on the, I guess, network Star Atlas ecosystem. Does anyone have anything they'd like to add here?
No, I think you guys did pretty good at doing that between you and Drum.
Yeah. Drum coming through with the color coordination, man. It's dope. Looks really good. Way better than mine. All right.
Yeah, it's a good
Yep.
lens to try to define where everyone is, and I've always felt like we're in the same box as the community, and interacting
Yeah, I
on
agree.
behalf.
Yeah, because each one is now its own entity. And when I was reading the pips again last night, I did notice, and also in the terms of service, um, when I told you all about the info slides down below, the terms of service also creates that legal separation, which I didn't expect to see that. But the pips mentioned the terms of service for eligibility, so I just read right through it, and yeah, Automata, Foundation, and then the DAO, and all three of them are separate legal personalities. Whereas technically, the DAO doesn't have a legal personality, which is why it keeps getting sued in California, United States, as an unincorporated partnership. All right, I don't have anything else I'd like to go over. All right, the Treasury. So we have a 1.5 mil in the bank, and looks like the vast majority of that is Atlas. So 1.1 million is in Atlas, and 400 grand is USDC, and a small amount of Sol. Do we, just random curiosity question, where does that Sol come from? Are
I
we
imagine it
getting,
was placed there for fees and operations in the network by just the fact that it's in the Solana network.
okay, all right, wait, I'm sorry, I asked the wrong question. Are we getting any Sol revenue?
Not that I
No.
know of.
Okay, so we get Atlas from marketplace fees and anything else?
And USDC.
I mean, we get Atlas from marketplace and USDC from marketplace, both.
I think USDC from sales, from part of the fee on the sales on USDC, if I'm not mistaken.
100%.
Okay,
That's where
so
basically all that USDC came from.
gotcha. So
And that's
revenue
why we don't have
sources.
any in the ecosystem fund, because we start using a section of the USDC once we surpass the barrier of the 500K.
So other than the marketplace, where else do we have any other revenue sources?
For USDC, I don't think so, but for Atlas, we've got crafting fees.
So that's
and,
like
local
chain
market fees.
transactions.
Say again?
Is that from transactions?
Yeah, when you craft in game, you pay an Atlas fee, and a portion of that goes to the DAO.
Okay, gotcha. I have not
Similarly,
crafted
in
yet,
local
so I'm
markets, a
still
portion of
beginner.
Yeah, similarly, a portion of the local market trading fee, it's basically the same as the galactic market.
Oh, is that Sage stuff?
But the difference is the local market is Atlas only, whereas the galactic market has USDC pairs on the ships.
Is that Galactic Market? Is that the website marketplace?
Correct. And the local market is in game, and and that's Atlas only.
Okay.
The difference is the galactic market has ships, and then they have USDC pairs as well, because that's
Okay.
where the team gets their USDC.
Got it. And local in-game market is Atlas only?
Correct.
Okay. Do we have a breakout for which revenue source? Like, what does the pie chart look like for that?
It would probably be if we had it, it would be on the economics chat or like the economic whatever
Report.
release they do.
Oh, the economic report?
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah, if
it's
it's
report
there.
only.
I mean, it's all on chain, so I mean, I'm sure it's out there.
Okay.
It would be nice to develop a dashboard with exactly what is in the interest of the DAO and being able to see everything we need to see. Something like this.
Okay.
I
All
mean,
right.
we do have some graphs there on the right. I don't know exactly what that's showing, but it's
Oh,
giving some breakdown.
Carlos, go back out. I real time edited.
Oh,
So those are the 3 revenue sources. Do we have any more? Any royalties that coming out of any other chains?
You can
Not at
just
the
click
moment.
on the revenue and it shows it.
As pips roll in,
Really? Okay.
some of them might revenue, give back.
Click on the revenue and it shows it.
I believe the monthly figures that you see in that bar graph below, I think you can click on those individual bars and it should break them out.
Yeah, it shows game activity marketplace fees. What it shows.
You're not looking at the live site, so I guess that's the trouble.
Oh, got it. Okay. Would you mind linking me? I'll put it in here and I'll look at it later.
Yeah.
And one of the other things we're going to have as a revenue source is the profit sharing from some of these when those start coming in too.
Okay, so we have
Yeah, so
current revenue sources. We have future, or no, projected is a better word. Projected revenue sources. And what did you say that was? Profit sharing
Yeah, that's how
from
I would
Pips?
classify it. Yep. And then also
Oh,
in the
revenue
Gallia
sharing.
Merchants, yeah, in the Gallia Merchants chat that they have going on there is potential for grants too.
Grants.
I know Falcor over there brought that up.
What do you mean grants from us to them? I say us from the
No,
DAO.
from them to us.
I don't know where to put this, but this is for December.
That's fine, Vody. That's fine. I do that all the time. Grants from Falcor.
Well, grants from, and maybe Falcor can put it in the chat here.
From Gallia
He is
Merchants.
typing, so well,
wrong turn,
I don't know.
buddy.
Yeah, as best
I
as
don't
I can tell, it doesn't actually get live updated, or if it does it on quite a delay. The last data that I could see is January 2025. But yeah, it just breaks it out between marketplace fees and in-game activities. I also believe rentals, some degree of that
Ooh,
still should be
rentals. I forgot
flowing
about
to the
that one.
DAO, but that might be broken into in-game
You're right.
activity. But
It definitely.
but we don't have like the last several months of data posted there, so
Okay.
something to drill into.
So
All
all
right,
the
I'll
magic is in
put.
the crafting.
Yeah, I think crafting is where most of it's been coming in. At least since the ship's sales slowed down.
Game activity is 86% of the income of the DAO right now. So
Yeah,
we need
I'll
more people
probably
playing.
reach into that pie chart and create something else here. All right, so we have current revenue sources, we have projected revenue, and in the future, revenue sharing from Pips, and then grants from Gallia Merchants.
actually just change it from grants from underscore because I don't know where it's coming from. I just saw it in the Gallia Merchants chat. It's up in the air right now. Who knows where they could come from? Maybe it's the Solana Foundation or whatever. But
Shark
I don't know
Tank.
if we're ever going to actually get anything. But it is a potential source of
I heard
revenue.
that Falcor was going to give it to us. That's what I heard you say.
Yeah. Well, Falcor, I saw him typing it in the Gallia Merchants Discord channel, and I just can't remember where he said the potential revenue source was from, the
Okay.
grant source.
Gotcha. Okay. So then, does anyone I see Falcor in the chat. I don't want to put him on the spot. Is anyone okay following up with Falcor to figure out who that fill in the blank
Yeah.
Are you
is?
talking about the Gallia Business
Yeah.
Association? I
Yeah.
think you're
That's where I
confused.
saw it.
Is the Gallia Business Association? I was really confused because you're talking about a digital store, and no, it's the Gallia Business
Gallia Business
Association.
Association?
Yeah.
It's a
Oh, that's that
representation of a
Discord.
lot of the businesses
Okay, okay.
related to Star Atlas.
Yeah. Okay, I got it. Yeah,
So they want to interact with the DAO, and they want to make sure that it's beneficial for everyone. So I think they're going to be coming with a very interesting proposal soon.
I
Yeah.
think we should
Ecosystem
make that an action
partners
item.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. And so Falcor put like it. So the ecosystem partners, that is a potential source of revenue. Simple.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Ecosystem partnerships with Gallia Business Association. All right.
Yeah, I think the Theo project is going to be the first one that is going to have a chance to get voted, and it would represent a partnership with the DAO. I'm looking
I
forward to
think
that.
that's that can be a whole conversation in itself. So I'm gonna put down here just a note for later. Make this an action item to start pursuing that and figure out what can develop. Because I did get invited to that this past week, and I hadn't had time yet to look through it. But just the fact that there is a business association, absolutely, we should tap into that. See what sort of goodness can come out of that. That's cool. That's very cool. All right, I'll add this later, and then we can talk about who will be the main POC point of contact.
Perfect.
Is Falcor the POC for the business association?
No, I'm not gonna.
He's
Yeah.
one of them.
Yeah.
I know
I'll-
them, and Signal is also in the server. We can make the link. I'm part of it.
Falcor said grant applications are in with Soul Foundation. All right, I got you now. So the Gallia Business Association is pursuing grants with the Soul Foundation. Did I get that right, Falcor?
Yeah, maybe we can leave it kind of generic for now. We're just kind of spitballing off the cuff here.
Yeah, that's all fine. I'd rather right now, and so we can go back and remember what it is that I actually wrote rather than me forget it. So GBA is pursuing grants with Soul Foundation. That is awesome. Cool. Yeah, we should definitely assist if we can. Then we can see what bandwidth we have to support. Right on. That's awesome that y'all are doing that. Okay, I am good on this slide. Anyone else want to add things or talk?
Nope.
There's also a council
just as
channel
a
in
heads up,
GBA.
because we didn't really see this function being performed organically by the Star Atlas DAO website. Steven Sabal, awesome kind of like freelance economist associated with Star Atlas, created a Flipside dashboard that actually live tracks revenue for the DAO and various other parts of Star Atlas. I'm going to link that in the chat. We can use it for future reference. So it's showing over the course of the past 4 weeks, the DAO took in approximately $53,000 worth of revenue. And I imagine, because we're not seeing these things live updating on the site, that this is going to become more and more of a critical resource for us to track what the existing revenue is of the DAO and the broader ecosystem. I'm going to drop that in chat now.
Sweet. Okay.
Is that number on the top right of that graphic, net revenue last month, is that an accurate amount, or isn't that an outdated, or?
It's accurate for December as of 2024.
Okay.
But the stuff that I'm dropping now, it's going to be accurate as of, the past 4 weeks, and it'll track it in real time, and you can use it for more extended data going forward.
That's cool.
I guess the bigger thing is, like, we don't really know who was putting this data on the Star Atlas website, but they haven't been doing it. And so it's probably going to fall to us to find an alternate means of tracking and reporting it. And this
Okay.
dashboard would be a great way of doing it.
I almost hear 2 action items. One is ask Automata who that person is and if they want to keep doing it, or if they're happy to let us have someone in the community volunteer. or just continue with flip
Yeah,
side?
and King Brian
This-
just said it that Autonoma controls that page, so it can be, they're so busy building that it can be troublesome. So I'm
Okay.
absolutely thinking that we're going to take this on sort of in house, or I mean, create a tool or something. But yeah, I think we're going to have to take the bull by the horns on this.
Okay.
Which, since everything's on chain, it should be fairly simple, and then the ins and outs.
Okay. I'm gonna put for us SAC Star Atlas Council -2. I think Bohemian put that in the chat yesterday, and then so I can shorthand this. SAC -2 is gonna be us. The second Star Atlas
It's
Council.
better than mine.
Yeah, I was like DAOC or something. Oh man, that's the longest acronyms of all time. All right, cool.
I think
If
we
we
should
got nothing
talk to
else,
Steven and see if he can add a refresh button onto his page, because for some reason, most of the flip sides I go to, you can refresh it, but for on his, it's like stuck back in December, and you can't refresh it.
okay, gotcha.
Maybe we
Maybe
can
that's
hire
why.
the AFIA guy. There's an AFIA guy that does amazing dashboards there for Star Atlas.
So ask Steven about what do we want, updating or maybe enhancing Flipside Crypto with the
No,
refresh.
no. We just need a refresh button. That's it.
Oh, literally like
the-
hit the browser refresh button. Okay.
No, so on flip side, you can click a button. Generally, like if you have an account and you go to somebody's dashboard, you can click the refresh button and it will re-pull all of the blockchain data, and it basically makes the data live. Like his data that we have is stuck on December of last year. It's like 4 months old. So the dashboard is kind of outdated at this point. I mean, like the algorithms that aggregate the data work really well, but it's just it's just old data. So
I
we need
see.
the refresh button to make it like current.
Okay, yeah. When I
You could
click the
also
little
go to
refresh button, it
Story
asks
and
me.
refresh it.
Yeah, it wants me to
Yeah, if you can
sign up to
focus on
Blockchain
it, that'd be
Insights.
sweet too.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay, we can make that an action item, and I know we're gonna get to this in the eventual goals and meeting minutes, but maybe Pip is in store for supporting some of these long-standing community tools.
Well, you
Is that
saying that, I have intentions of sending out, and I haven't talked to any of you about it or anybody really. I guess I kind of chatted with Funcracker, but I think it'd be great to put out an RFP, and then Funcracker told me it's more in the crypto world. It's a bounty program. So if we put out RFPs or bounties to create some of these tools, and if we eventually own them, I think that would be really good. But yeah, definitely we have some
gotcha?
options, whether it's a bounty or just asking people. But
Yeah, when he said RFP, everybody that meant request for proposal. It's in the
oh yeah.
commercial business world. All right, that's the last item before we hit meeting minutes. Slide 7. All right, we can roll and hit
On that
8.
last page, we had something along the lines of just like getting those that data right on the page. Ask Steven. I'll add it. We can move on. I don't want to hold
Okay.
us up for that.
Alrighty. So here we go. We started on time, but we definitely got some things. We're all here, right? Drum, Signal, Emperor, Bodhi, and then myself. All right, we're all good to go. Probably should have done this first. Okay, so we have some proposed agenda items. The first one is establishing the structure. Actually, no. Carlos, I think introducing each other, ourselves. That's probably in order.
Oh, there you go. Okay, should I start?
Yeah, go to slide 3, and I'll take like 1 sentence notes of each person.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's start with Body then.
Oh, I'm still writing on this last page.
All
on this
right,
last
my
page.
name is John Carlos. You know me from the first season of this show. I was the baddie, but no, joking aside, my name is Carlos Dugarte. I've been in the first term, and now I was reelected for the second term. So I really appreciate everyone their trust. I hope that means that I was working and I improved things and added value, and that's what I plan on keep on doing. I'm really excited to work with this team. We have been chatting in the last few days and getting to know each other, and it seems a really nice energy. And I'm looking forward to start focusing in different parts now. I was talking to them, and I felt like the first term was very focused on the people structure and the rules and establishing the knowledge base and all these base, and now we can build upon that. And these guys come here with great plans of make everything more transparent and accessible to everyone, and more open and more public. So hopefully that will drive the engagement we're hoping for, so we can keep building this beautiful DAO among the whole team.
¿De dónde eres, amigo?
Oh, I'm Venezuelan. I was born in 1978 in Venezuela. I moved to the United States when I was 22 years old, and I lived there with a few episodes outside of the country, and now a couple years ago I moved to Wales, so that's where I call my residency, though I move around a lot for work.
Nice. Traveling man. Right on. Bo, you done? You ready?
Yeah, yeah, I can go. My name is Bodhi. Before I got into crypto, I worked in the skydiving industry. I instructed people how to jump, and that's my mentor used to transport gold in his little 182. So he had some friends that were kind of in the whole that scene, and then through them, I learned about Bitcoin. Didn't hop on it because at the time I was like super young, but I had heard about it in like 2011 because they were talking about gold and Bitcoin. And then many years later, when I was more integrated in the skydiving scene and wasn't so focused on like progress in that whole thing, I heard about Bitcoin again, and so that's when I hopped on. And then after a while, I got into alts, and then Axie Infinity, play to earn gaming, and that's when I like really found that I really like I like everything about the space. I like the fact that it allows people that don't have money to invest in crypto, which is, in my opinion, the people that need crypto the most, the ability to like work in the space. I think that's really cool. So, yeah, I like the play to earn space from an investment perspective, but also from like I just think it's really disruptive in a positive way. And yeah, so been trying to focus on that as much as possible for a long time now. Yeah.
Loves disruption, huh? I think that's
Yeah,
awesome,
well,
man.
if it's
Former
positive,
skydiving
right?
instructor.
Yep, yep. I got like 5,000 or so. I didn't keep track, so I couldn't tell you exactly how many, but probably like five, maybe 6,000 jumps.
Dang, man. I've got like 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like packing, like rigging for I've like rigged for the military, and I've basically everything short of like flying the plane I can do.
I wouldn't be surprised if we've hit some of the same drop zones.
Oh, I know
That's
for a fact. Yeah, we talked. Yeah, you talked about. I think at least one of them.
yeah, yeah,
Well, I don't know if you jumped there, but you knew exactly of a place that I jumped at. So
yeah, yeah. Right on, man. All right.
So yeah,
It-
that puts me next. I have exactly one dive under my belt, so there's that. Now, um, I'm from U.S. Central Time. I live in the Midwest, in the middle, right in the middle of the country. Um, I'm a real estate developer. a building contractor, and I also like to volunteer and give back. I was the volunteer construction manager for Habitat for Humanity for 14 years. I've been really, really involved in our downtown association, so that's kind of the lens that I look at things through, is through all those experiences. An entrepreneur by trade, in addition to, you know, real estate, and I guess if you're in real estate, you're an entrepreneur by default. But we've owned restaurants, part owner of a brewery, thrown a bunch of concerts, free to the public, all those things. So just kind of a mix of a lot. I'm the kind of guy that likes to innovate and think outside the box. And one of the things that I want to do and that interests me about Star Atlas is the governance, like literally why I ran for council. Stuff doesn't always have to be done the same way that it's always been. If nothing ever changes, nothing ever changes. I'm a huge fan of autonomy. I don't like being compelled by anybody or anything, any form of government, any group of people trying to tell me how I can or can't live my life. And that's one of the things I really like about DAOs and Star Atlas. It attracts like-minded people. I think that's what brings a lot of us together, and really intriguing, this experiment. I really like the vision of Autonoma and Michael Wagner's ultimate huge overarching vision. I can really resonate with that. So I don't want to ramble on too much, but that's kind of a high level view of who I am and um, why I like Star Atlas. So
Solace in the chat. Oh man, this is going out on a stream.
Every time, bro. Gets me every time.
Right on, man. Right on. I closely relate to what Emperor just said about the governance thing. My background is military, also contract writing, negotiation, and proposal evaluation. So I was basically the one they sent to buy everything from books to airplanes, all over, everywhere. So I did that for many, many years, and now I'm a program manager for software developer or software development for aircraft. So I do all sorts of agile stuff and logistics and finance, and I think so. I've been gaming since I was really young, and I think that my top games of all time is Free Allegiance, which is a Microsoft game, and PlanetSide 2, which is still limping along 13 years later, and got a Guinness World Record under its belt until last month when Other Side from Yuga Labs broke it, and they took the record. But I'm huge into organizational management. I love it to death, creating processes and well-oiled machines, and mostly that can like just get stuff done. You can just turnkey with what you want to do, and the process is there to help support you and solving problems up front because we know what to expect from each other and we communicate. And also, as a PlanetSide 2 player, I love combined arms. Like the guild that I was in, or they call it outfits, had 10,000 members in it, and we would employ air, sea, land maneuverable tactics and FPS like Battlefield, but with thousands of players playing at the same time. And I did that for many years, and I still do it when I can. I'm mostly a main battle tanker. I'm a tanker, and that's what kind of drew me to Star Atlas. Is when I saw this a while ago, it popped up on my radar as a Web3 project. I've been in crypto for a long time, so I've seen a lot of projects come and go. So I really just kind of chilled and where I was over in Sandbox, and then things just kind of, I don't know. I think I listened to a town hall and I just saw the team dynamic and kind of like what Emperor was saying. I got convinced of the vision and I see where they're going with it. And the fact that they're so open and transparent and their team dynamic is just kind of like building the open type. I'm a big fan. And last but not least is I'm a DAO junkie now. Governance and leadership and community and gaming. It's the bomb. So that is why I ran for council here, because I felt like I could make a difference on that front and just be a good teammate to build the ecosystem. Bohemian asks, am I Oni? I don't think so, although as I'm listening to lore keepers, I think I'm on 4th or 5th now. I really like the Sogmians. I like the way they are. I think they might be Ooster, but I'm still learning kind of the separation of the species. Right now, I'm technically Mud under Club and Bulk, simply because Solace and I have a shared like veteran military background, and he snatched me up right away. So Oni is the way, Emperor says. And that's me. I'm from the United States, East Coast, from the Florida, and I've just been, for the military, living all around, doing all sorts of stuff. That's me. Signal,
I
you're
guess
up.
that makes me.
That leaves the best for the last.
Matt Foley, the
Yeah.
motivational speaker. Who was it that said that in the chat?
Yeah. So I'm Signal. For anyone who doesn't know me, I'm pretty much just like a crazy, degenerate, Star Atlas obsessed crackhead that's been in this ecosystem for the better part of like a couple of years now, since like late 2021, when they were kicking off posters and like some of the original ships and stuff like that. You could just look me up on YouTube if you just type Star Atlas Signal, and you'll hear me talking for God knows 6 to 8 hours about who knows what in Star Atlas with any number of different people. Anything from pips to changes in the ecosystem to funding and runway with the team to financials. Um, I've kind of just become this singular entity that's obsessed with Star Atlas. Somewhere along the lines, my brain got turned into this machine that's only really capable of thinking about Star Atlas and this ecosystem and how to help it and how to grow it. And if I knew how to be more differentiated in my skills and my abilities and how my mind worked, I would. But for better or worse, I'm kind of just addicted to this ecosystem and being here. My background professionally is in everything from psychology to electronics and working with machines to maybe for the past 8 years now, I guess, ops and leadership, leading large organizations and helping to tune things and make them successful and grow. Um, but really, my only interest in running for council and joining council and being a part of this process is how can we grow the ecosystem? How can we expand? How can we create more use cases, more virtuous cycles for Atlas, Star Atlas game assets? How can we empower content creators and developers to grow this ecosystem even more? I'm very much so of the camp, and there are different camps in this school of thought, but I'm very much so of the camp that us sitting on our hands waiting for the team to deliver value for us is a bullshit strategy. The DAO represents an incredible opportunity for this amazing community to finally deliver the value that we've kind of unofficially been delivering for years. Now, instead of just support, 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 activity, 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 um, our man hours can actually be force multiplied. I can spend a couple of weeks working on a PIP, and it's now turned into this machination that can just run wild through the ecosystem. Like a couple of weeks of work turns into Dowcasters, or a couple of weeks of work turns into like Polis for Pizza or some crazy new meme initiative or something that can actually shake things up and grow the ecosystem and expand the map. The only thing I would say when talking about myself a little bit is like, fuck me. It's about all of you. It's about all of us. It's about what we can build here together. Star Atlas has an incredible vision. It has incredible goals and places that it wants to go. And if you look at that vision and those goals, there's a hole in it. And the size and the shape of that hole is the size and the shape of all of you. It's going to take absolutely every single one of us stepping up, pushing, doing something fucking awesome together to make this happen. And I'm really, really excited to work with all of you. That's me.
That is why you are the motivator extraordinaire. Yay. Cool.
I do what I can, guys.
All right, go back to slide 8. I put a few notes there for that discussion point. But you got to jump out of it again. Boom. Okay, so that's the first one. Dunzo. All right, the second one is establish a structure for each meeting. I feel like we probably got that. Does anyone really disagree with what we're doing so far and how we're doing it?
No, I think we're good for now for today
Okay.
in that one. I think we're working on it, and yeah, I'm liking everything so far. We'll obviously whittle it down a little bit, and it won't be quite as robust as it is today since this is our first one. But no,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we're on the right track.
Okay, cool. So that one's done, Zoe. And recurring meeting cadence. Do we want to do every week, 2 weeks, every day? How do we want to do this?
Well, it was asked in the chat if we're going to do these live every time, and I responded no. We do intend to have as much open conversation as we can. But that being said, I think the one once a week worked fairly well for the last council. It seemed to. I think once a week is bare minimum personally. For now, my goal would be to automate as a bunch of stuff, and eventually, I'm not saying anytime soon, but eventually, once it's a well-oiled machine, have it not even be once a week, but once a week seems good for me. I don't know if every other meeting or something is broadcast live, or maybe just some special meetings or something, but I don't know. What do you guys think with the cadence?
Once a week is good for me, and I vote every meeting we do this.
Yeah, I vote once a week at least, taking into account that we're going to have internal meetings with the foundation and the team, that they're not going to be streamed, and then we can do our public thing when we go back to our duties as a council with with the peeps and with the structure and with all these conversations that we were having today.
What do you feel about broadcasting every week? Good, bad, ugly?
Yeah, as long as there's enough work, yes. Like right now, we have a few pips in voting. We have some more than we have to review. So we have good reasons to keep a meeting. If we have a hiatus of pips, we probably will still have things to manage, like the work groups or the Iris bounty, yeah, and new peeps that will come. That will also delegate some work to us. So I think little by little, we're going to find ourselves with enough material to meet publicly every week to handle all these things. But we can adjust,
Okay.
to whatever makes sense at the moment.
Yeah.
Maybe we do like we will have to review pips, and I know some of that might not be live, or it will or won't be, but we'll have to navigate some of that. That's kind of some of the little behind the scenes nuance stuff. But maybe we will end up, and this is my goal too, to end up with some subcommittees. Like I think Bohemian volunteered himself to help with one of those subcommittees on um, creating different programs and stuff. It's not going to be all us, but maybe the subcommittee thing could be the more than once a week, if there is, if we do have get-togethers more than once a week, maybe it could be the subcommittee that meets and does something. That's worked really well in the organizations I've been a part of. We've created subcommittees, and that's kind of in the same vein as working groups. I know it's not completely parallel, but that same idea, just a more dedicated, focused group of people, including council members and community members working on subcommittees. But maybe that's the more than once a week thing. I don't know.
Okay. All right, I put that down as an action item. So
Definitely some internal things are extra, I think. Like, if we need to get to the foundation and we arrange a time that is convenient for them and for us. and then if we need to make any other, internal meetings to go over something important, that's all extra. But yeah, we should try to at least aim for one meeting a week.
Okay. Bodie? Is Bodie muted?
Probably. We can jump
Okay,
to Signal. Oh, there
thank
you
you
are.
yeah, so the weekly meeting, I think that should be internal. We should record it or have, an AI get the notes that we can publicize. After we make sure there's no NDA related stuff, because like Drum said, sometimes we have like the foundation in there or something like that. But since we have the public PIP reviews, which I think are really valuable, generally we did them for the first review, because I feel like we give it doesn't just benefit the author, but it also it gives the community an opportunity to see kind of how we process a PIP, and then that way over time, after we do a lot of public reviews, then people will understand kind of, you know, what like the council is looking for, and it will, I think, improve the PIP, like the quality of the PIPs over time naturally, just by educating more people by doing these reviews publicly. So I think that given the fact we have the public reviews and then we also have the after hours, I think that doing this and the weekly meetings, I think that doing uh, this once a week is going to be too much. I think we should do the public review like for every external PIP, at least until it starts to be diminishing returns. Like once we should be doing that until people start to really understand exactly how to write a PIP. Uh, and I think the after hours are, I think that kind of covers a lot of and like
Office
extra
hours.
spaces. Or yeah, sorry, the office hours. I think that covers like a lot of like just whatever might be floating around. So I think that doing this every week, I think is gonna be too much, but I do think we should do at least once a month. And you know, I definitely think if we get super swamped and we need to put in more time, we could scale it up, but I don't think we should commit to once a week, seeing as we have these other things that we're doing some pretty regularly. I just don't think we have enough. Uh, I don't think we have enough to chew on for all that.
Signal.
Yeah, and maybe we can do the this format just kind of as it comes up. Um,
I
yeah,
think once a
this
month would
format
be
is
perfect.
potentially, and it could end up being more than once a month, but yeah, maybe we just need to wing it. But yes, I'm sorry I interrupted before Signal could chime in.
No, you're good, brother. I feel like we should be having this meeting once a week. I feel like it should be public. I feel like the people should do and see everything that we're working on. And frankly, I feel like if we somehow didn't have enough to chew on as a council, if there's not enough going on in the DAO in a week that like we're like, hey, we couldn't even talk for an hour about what's going on, then that should be the topic of the hour, is why there's nothing to talk about. At I think an hour a week and making it public and transparent to the people is a very low level requirement for what we do.
Well,
What about
what is unique about this? This is it's basically like our goals for the week, right?
Right.
That's what really differentiates this from the rest of the things that we are already doing. So
Like, in what scenario would it make sense or be okay for us to go into a week and we don't have a goal for that week? That we couldn't even spend a little bit of time publicly saying this is what we're going to try to do this week.
Oh, we're gonna have plenty to do this week and next week
Exactly. That's
and
what I
next
mean.
week.
So
Yeah.
so how could we not justify, even just like an hour a week to publicly tag up and like, here's what we're going to do, here's what we're working on, here's what we got going on. I think that's so easy. It's such a layup. And frankly, I think everyone who voted for us deserves it.
Shoot, we already have
Yeah,
like
I mean,
3 or
I-
4 action items right now.
Because I don't want to be classic signal and give too hard of an opinion, but that's how I feel, and I think the people that elected us want that. I think they deserve it, and I think we should absolutely every week have an hour's worth of stuff to talk about. And if we don't, we should talk for an hour about why we don't have an hour's worth of stuff to talk about. And with that, I'll drop it and I'll let the conversation breathe.
All right, so I'm gonna recap. Emperor says once a week tag up, but not public. Carlos once a week tag up, yes public. Lanzer once a week tag up, yes public. Bodie once a month tag up, not public. Signal once a week tag up, yes public. Did I get anybody wrong?
what is the not public? You're talking. This is the tag up, right?
Yeah, this is the tag up, and we're doing
think-
it public right now.
I think the tag up should certainly be public for sure. I don't
Oh.
know. I mean, I'm just saying, since we have, 3 other things that we do at least, I mean, on a weekly basis. A fourth might be too much, but I'm definitely willing to give it a try.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Bodie, you
and
said
I
do.
don't-
The only thing that should be private is or that has to have the possibility to be private is the weekly meetings, because we might be discussing NDA things at that point.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to, not the tag ups. Like, if there are situations where we need to talk to the foundation and talk about some other stuff. But yeah, so if we can do these 1 hour once a week meetings live, I think I'm all on board for that. But every single meeting doesn't necessarily have to be, or shouldn't, quite honestly, shouldn't be. Not every single one. I guess that to clarify my stance.
I need
Uh,
safe space to complain about Bohemian, so yeah, I second that.
Yeah.
all right, I feel like there's some
that's kind of
terminology. I feel like
Yeah.
there's a terminology thing we got to work through. When I say meeting, I mean the tag up that we're having right now. I think you're referring to a different meeting. What other
Weekly
meeting?
There's a weekly meeting that we need to schedule, that we meet. All 5 of us meet. Generally, we have some sort of representation from the foundation, and the 5 of us, and we kind of go over, basically our goals, what we're working on that day. Like, that's why I'm feeling. I feel like it's really nice to visualize this, but
Yeah,
from
that one is more oriented to us trying to get answers from the foundation and bringing questions that the community pose. Well, they bring ideas that, maybe we cannot enforce now, but we can start talking with the foundation and understanding their position on it or their lack of position on it. So
Okay, so there's a
and
weekly
also
meeting with the
we have
foundation.
their communication with Automata.
And we also do a lot of the review. Well, actually, no, we were doing a lot of the secondary reviews on there, but
Okay, all right.
yeah,
Let me see if I got this one down.
Mostly just, what are we working on this week? It's
So we got our tag up meetings, which goes over goals. It goes over meeting minutes. Then you have a foundation meeting, which is with Automata and the foundation to talk
Yeah,
about
let's
what?
call it an internal meeting.
yeah, internal meeting. It's not really
Okay, and there's an internal meeting with Automata and foundation. And what did we talk about there?
Anything that we have questions and communication, that we need communication with them, updates on their side, because we lean the DAO leans into Automata for many of its activities because doesn't have the infrastructure, and we always come with a lot of questions on how to handle the specific situations and what to bring back to answer people.
Oh, I
would
just
say,
realized you can't see what I'm
honestly,
typing.
The majority of the time spent during those meetings in the past have been very similar to kind of what we're doing here. We're talking about what we worked on this last week, what we're shooting for next week, what we're doing with our hour. Like the meeting, it's not framed in the same way, but it's very much similar to kind of what we're doing here live right now. And then, any questions that we come across with throughout the week for foundation, we pitch those and say, hey, give us the answer next week. And but the majority of it is these goals and things that we worked on, where we stand with certain items that we've been working towards.
Yeah, but that's fine because we can separate that because those meetings used to be with the foundation never more than an hour, and sometimes we would stay there for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, because we then needed to talk the other stuff. So I think it would be nice to make public all these, a structure and proceedings and minutes and all the advances and what we're working on. And then we can have when the foundation is available, we can have a private meeting with them. That doesn't have to be 2 hours. It can be just 45 minutes, 1 hour.
Okay, yeah, then I change my vote. If we do that and we separate, because like I said, that's the bulk of it. If we can take those meetings down from 2.5 to 1 hour, and then just put all that stuff here and make it public, that's even better. So yeah, we could do weekly for sure. If that's why I was just saying it's so redundant, because we're doing that's basically the majority of the time in those weekly meetings. But if we separate that out, that's perfect.
Okay. So if we make the tag up meetings right now about our goals, what we're doing each week, and
That'll be
then
about an hour for sure.
we do the internal meeting with Automaton Foundation as like a coordination meeting where we talk cross org tasks, I guess, activities, efforts. There we go. Cross org efforts. So things that we need to work together on, or things that we need to ask them for support. That sounds like a good separation? Question mark?
Yeah, for now.
Okay.
The separation, yes, but the cadence and the hey, somebody has their mic on.
Brujo, muteate. Brujo.
But yeah, I think it would be figuring out the cadence of public and not. I think we can kind of still navigate through that, but I think we're all on the same page on that.
Yeah, it sounds like for the tag up, which is our external meeting, we do that once a week. And I think Emperor, you're the only one not in favor of being public once a week for the tag up.
No,
He was.
absolutely. It's exactly what Bodhi and
Okay.
Drum were saying. Just those meetings with the foundation, the internal.
Okay.
At this
And
point, we're all on
then
the same page.
for the internal meetings, are those already scheduled, or do we need to schedule those like we're doing now?
We have the usual time that we have been using, which is right after the brew.
Oh.
That's
Oh,
what we
okay.
have been doing.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like the one you guys assisted to.
Got it. That's the one where
That
I
is a
might not be
weekly
able to
meeting, yeah.
attend once I start back on my 9 to 5. But that's
We can
no harm, no
reschedule.
foul.
Well, we're gonna have to reschedule to a time that works for most of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if it works for most of you and I'm just the odd person out, then I'm fine. I trust y'all. You can back brief me. No big deal.
Yeah, we can
Yeah, we
hash that
normally
out.
record those, so you can always watch record when you cannot attend, because that's sometimes for work I couldn't attend, and I would watch the recording and come back with the feedback.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So Emperor once a week, tag up, yes, public. So we're all once a week for tag up, yes, public. Are we also all for once a week internal right after the brew?
Yeah, when possible, or whatever time it works for most of us, we can poll that internally.
Okay.
And we might
then
not have to do it once a week with the internal. It might end up being every other week, but I guess we could start once a week for now, and then
Yeah, in an ideal world, it's nice to have that once a week.
Yeah, I would definitely suggest, because we generally do around 2 to maybe even more hours a week. So if we do an hour here, and then an hour there, then I think honestly it'll be a little bit more efficient to break it up like this. So I think we'll be able to kind of handle everything by doing 2 hours a
And
week.
most of the work happens in between, when we are not all live in a call, when we're actually doing the stuff.
Okay.
right.
And
So
if
it
we
sounds
separate
like
it too, like, if we do like Wednesday and Friday, or like Tuesday and Friday or something, where there's a couple days in between, I feel like that will help kind of keep the ball rolling throughout the week too. So that
True.
would be a nice thing.
True. Signal.
Just as
What
a
say you?
tiny little stick poke to the general meeting, it looks like we've got maybe at least 4 more topics on the board and 30 minutes left in our designated time. We can run
Yeah.
later or we can shave things, but just a reminder.
Yeah, I'm okay personally with us just breaking at 2 hours and then picking up the next thing at the next meeting.
Perfect.
That's just me. Does anyone disagree with that? Violently
That's
object?
fine.
No,
Okay.
I'm good. I just wanted to make sure we all were looking at
Yeah,
the same
good
thing.
putt. Good putt. For Signal, are you good? Do you concur with internal meetings once a week after the brew?
Yeah, that works fine for me. I guess the biggest thing is just if we're having an internal meeting, what makes it internal, etc. And the brews can be tough, obviously. For me, your typical brew's going to land right in the middle of a workday.
Yeah. Yeah.
At the council hours or the office hours kind of do the same thing. So my ability to jump into those, I'll do everything I can to move everything around in my schedule to be able to jump into them. But
That
the
that
more things we
time.
could do on a cadence like this, where like we're on a Saturday and we're doing this stuff. I mean, I'd even love to see office hours.
Listen,
Like where we
that
do
that
this tag up and then other people bring their stuff up and we talk about it. But
that time worked for the 5 consoles on the first term, and we were really widespread between Central European time, the UK, East Coast, Hawaii. So it was really difficult for us to organize. But now
right. With
4
this
out of
group, it might
5
make sense to
are in the
revisit.
United States, between Pacific and Eastern time, and I spend 3 quarters of the year on that side too. So I think there's no problem to do it a little later after you guys are done with work.
Nice, that'd be perfect.
I'm
And I'm
I'm
sure the
moving back.
people participating would find it more useful too, that it's easier for them to show up to these things.
Well,
Right
that's
on.
assuming that there's no people in Europe interested.
How about
True.
why don't you, Lancer? Why don't you resend one of those polls that you sent out with the times that people are
Yeah.
available,
Okay.
and specifically for the internal meeting thing. But yeah, wait.
Yeah, I'll send
I'd
another one
be
is good.
interested to drop one of those types of things in governance chat too, or like in like people who are doing pips. Like I'd be interested to see what our community looks like in terms of who's currently really active in governance and what types of time zones they sit in.
Maybe that can be our first tweet. Hmm? Hmm?
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah?
Make a poll.
Right on. All right. So I will send out a win is good for both internal and for the weekly tag up, and then
Yeah,
we'll take those
can you
results.
keep them separate?
Yeah. I'll send
The
out
two different
separates.
ones.
Separate win is
Sweet.
goods.
Okay, and then once we have that, maybe we can do the, yeah, maybe Signal's idea. Maybe we can, let's put that on the agenda for next week to find out, like maybe for the office hours for the community at large.
Figure
We don't
out
want
Yeah,
to
office
like
move
will the
all.
hours.
times that we have even reflect what our community wants? Or are they
Yeah.
just kind of there?
So Signal, did you volunteer yourself for that action item, or is someone else picking that up?
I'm happy to do it. I don't I can try to use the when is good thing. Does that kind of require people like inherently doxing or what is it? I mean, I
Uh,
can just get in Discord and start investigating and asking people.
Yeah,
But
just do that.
okay, cool. Yeah.
wait,
I'll just
can you
shake the
put a
tree
poll
branches.
in DAO chat? Is that a thing?
I probably can.
So if you put a poll in DAO chat and then you tweet blast out the link or in an image screenshot of the poll, then we'll have that full circle that we're looking for.
Yeah, perfect. Love it.
Cool. Okay.
Bingo.
In DAO chat and screenshot blast as first tweet for whatever our DAO council is. I can't remember which one we were going to do, but whatever it is. DAO council X account. I still call it tweets, so I'm going to have to. And then that means, Signal, are you also creating it, or did someone else say they were doing that?
I don't
The
think we
DAO
worked
Council
through
X
that.
account. I don't
Yeah.
think we've gotten that far.
We
Put
were
it this
working
way,
through the
if
email.
I had created it, then that would have been me going rogue at this
Okay.
stage.
The email is
I
created.
think we're waiting on. Well, I think what would be preferable is to actually have the final, like, if we can get an email account that's council at
Oh,
govern.staratlas.com or
true.
something,
Well,
That
we
would be
can.
ideal. That way we don't have to transfer anything. But
Well,
if
we
we
can.
can't, if we run into roadblocks, really like the last council did, then we're just gonna create it under one of the Gmail accounts. I think is where we left it, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah, I would wait until we have that meeting after you guys are KYC'd and we have that meeting with them for the first time, and we can bring this up and see where we are.
Okay. So then I'm gonna put pending first internal meeting because that's what we're calling it now.
Hmm.
Create DAO Council X account, and that would be Signal. Signal, if I volunteered you wrong, just tell me.
It would be
No, you're
email
good,
first,
brother.
and it'd be email first and then X.
Well, it'd be the foundation. We'd be putting this onto the foundation to do. There's nothing. That's the whole point. Is we need them to do it so that they own it, and that way the new council can just pick up where we left off, and we don't have to like try and transfer it to them.
Okay, there we go. I put
Right, I
pending
just wanna
first
avoid-
internal meeting and issuance of @govern email. Signal
And
to
phone
create
number.
DAO Council X account. There.
We need them to make us a phone number too, because a lot of times you need an email and a phone number, or one or the other, to make different accounts on third party apps.
Okay, phone number it is then. I put
and
that on the
maybe,
list too.
yeah, maybe we can set a time limit. It'll give the foundation 2 weeks, a month. I want to set it at
Well,
2 weeks. If they can't do it within 2 weeks, if then we just go rogue ourselves and make it. You just use the Gmail.
Okay, so
'Cause we
after
can't
2
sit here and wait
meetings,
forever.
execute
Mhm.
backup COA. Course of
Boom.
action.
Done.
Yeah, if we
Yeah.
can't get help from the man, it becomes power to the people on that one.
Find a way, make a way.
Exactly.
Cool. All right. And so we have 2 types of meetings. Actually, we have more than 2 types of meetings. We've got the tag up meeting, the internal, PIP office hours, or no, a PIP review, and then office hours.
Correct.
And then PIP review is just where we are comparing PIP drafts against formatting requirements and noting and giving comments. Office hours are what? That's just us being around a campfire, right? Kumbaya talking.
Yep, talking about whatever.
So
Yeah, I think it's mainly
camaraderie.
people who want to bring like PIP stuff to us and ask about it. Like we're making ourselves officially publicly available.
Yeah, AMA and general
Okay.
DAO talk.
Council AMAs and I don't know. How do
General
you say
DAO
two-way
talk.
discussion in a good way? And-
Yeah.
Though off of the flow of this meeting, the one thing I would say is like if we do our tag up and we put it at like a 60-minute cadence, it might not be the worst thing in the world to keep this 2-hour block and something like council hours happening as like the second 60 minutes of this cadence. Because we got a bunch of people here live. I'm sure a bunch of them would like to ask questions and would like to
Okay.
engage with stuff. It might make sense if we're gathering everyone together to see one thing at one time. We could kick off the end of it with like now we're opening up office hours and we can all have a conversation.
That's a super cool idea. And to be
Hmm.
honest, I'm okay with doing this public thing on this channel.
Yeah. Yeah, if we can taper this down, like get our battle rhythm down to 1 hour, 60 minutes for just our meeting, and then the second 60 minutes are office hours, and whoever needs to cut out has to cut out at that point. Sure.
Yeah, then
I
you
like
have
it.
2 hours. It lands on a Saturday. It's easy to take care of it instead of trying to carve out the time. And for some of us, the middle of a Friday or what it's, and you're taking advantage of the fact that we've already gathered everyone here to do this. So we might as well open it up
Yeah.
at that time.
Well, that makes
I
sense.
like that.
Okay.
And we can also go back to that 2 council or office hours. Like I would love to do it during the week at a set time still as well. That's no big deal. Like when I'm driving back and forth from,
Right.
I have an hour and a half drive twice a week. Um, That would be awesome too. So yeah, some set times. No, I love it. I'm not gonna
Cool.
rehash it, but yeah, cool.
So
And the beauty
council,
of it this way also is because we just reviewed so many different things, it eliminates questions that would have been answered by what we're already presenting.
yeah,
Where someone shows up to an office hours on a different day that didn't see this, and they're going to ask questions about things that we already reviewed. If someone's here, watched this whole review, and then we open up office hours, you would think there'd be less questions that were already answered.
right on.
Well, and
You would
it
think,
opens up
you would hope.
it opens up new conversations too.
Yeah.
They're gonna have different things to talk about that they're seeing, and I think it's a great idea. Where do we fit in the public reviews? Just normally we did them as needed. If a pip came up or a couple pips came up, we would just schedule a public review. Um,
Do you guys think we need a
Generally,
public review?
it was super helpful for. It's not necessary, but it really does help educate the public on how pips are formed, which I think over time it will we'll see benefits. Um like for example, there's a couple people who are really active. They over after watching a couple pip reviews, they might not be council members, but they can go in and look at a pip and be like, "Hey, you need to add this," or they see the vision the same way that we see it after doing it a couple times. So they just become, it's educating people on exact like how we process pips,
I
which
think if anything, we can dedicate a little bit of time in our tag meeting to address some of that. But I think we need to streamline the PEEP assessment process and make it a little more efficient. Last term we were focusing on other things, but we still have a few PEEPs that had a first review weeks ago, and then we gave feedback, and then we haven't gone there and finished that and make sure that it either complies or gets fixed. So I don't know if the public review is the best way to go, but we can
well, the public
incorporate when we find it, that is a good idea and that we have the time to our tag meeting. That's my recommendation.
Yeah, and I
Maybe
would
we make
agree. I
was
would
just
agree. So like with our downtown association, we had that grant program, and all we did is we assigned reviewers to do it on their own time, and then you know they just filled out the form. Did it meet this? Did it meet this? Blah blah blah. You just went through individually on your own time and then submitted it. I think that could be a really really good way to streamline it.
Do we
I
have a
think we could use
checklist?
public review as like the final stage of polish too. So like the Dowcasters pick that like I put up, that went into drafts. Funcracker gave me feedback on it right in just in normal writing in the Discord, and I was able to fix a bunch of stuff and tweak it. I didn't actually require there to be some public whole discussion of whether or not there's like things to fix inside my proposal. Like I just got the one-on-one feedback and was able to do it. I do think it would be super valuable though. Like if we consider all of that feedback's been incorporated, someone did all of the work to clean up their pip and now it's like actually ready for vote. Um, that might be worth doing like a recorded public review of that pip, if for no other reason than other people might just tune in to listen to it just to learn about the pip. Um,
Mhm.
I, it might be messy and time consuming to keep using it as a process of like, oh yeah, well this wasn't quite written right, or this or that. And that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, the
I,
main
I
the main value proposition is it's not so much to benefit the author. It takes more time, so it doesn't even benefit the council. The one thing that it does, which might not be worth enough to justify doing it, is it gives other people outside of the council the opportunity to learn kind of how the council thinks and how it's structured. Like they're basically starting to think like a council member does when they look at pips. Um,
Right.
that's
Huh.
really it.
why don't
I
you
didn't think about it
merge?
like
Why
that.
don't you merge that idea with the office hours, and you
That's
can
what I would
review
do.
tips live in the office hour and give feedback, and I think
Yeah,
that's more productive because otherwise we are just creating another
extra work.
appointment that we have all to make work.
I personally agree. Yeah, I would
So
I would combine it.
we're gonna couple our what do we call this thing here again
Tag up.
that we're doing?
Tag up.
The tag
Office-
up. Thank you. So we're gonna couple that with the office hours, and then on occasion we'll throw in a review in there.
Yeah, I think every time
Especially
there's a
since
new
people,
style of tip that will, that is interesting, we can bring it up and we can give the feedback, work with the author there live, open it for everyone to watch, and but
that tends to be what office hours is used for in a lot of places anyway. Meaning you're tuning into it and you're jumping into office hours because you have a proposal you want to work on or ask questions about, or you're trying to move something and you just want general access to counsel to be able to help answer questions for the work
immediate
that you're
feedback.
currently
Yeah.
doing.
I like it. Yeah, I think this will work really well.
So can you summarize that for me? I think what I heard was the second half of our 2-hour block is office hours, and then sometimes those office hours will be a public review of pips.
Yeah, if people are coming in asking questions about their individual
Or when the
proposal or
author is
wanting to go through
available.
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. So we kind of have
I
like an
think you
order of
essentially turn it all
hierarchy.
into one meeting that people might actually be interested to watch, you know.
Okay.
It's
So then we can kind of have like a hierarchy where if for that office hours, if there's a pip author there who has questions, then they take precedence.
yes.
Precedence, whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They have
and they can
priority.
put themselves on the docket ahead of schedule. Like they know office hours is going to happen on Saturday after the tag up, and they can just get themselves scheduled on there where like, hey, I know a bunch of other people have questions. Like, you can always pre-schedule stuff if you have really pressing issues. But like first on the schedule, we have Bohemian with like his particular pip that he's working on for additional council terms, etc. And
Okay.
like he's got carved out dedicated time that was scheduled in advance for the office hours to like ask some questions and go through some stuff.
I like
Yeah,
that.
I like that.
I think that works.
You can carve it out into blocks, and it's possible to show up with like no appointment and do a walk-in. But if you do a walk-in and already 4 blocks of time are like pre-scheduled, by other people who went through the effort to schedule them, then you just have to be okay with the fact that they're probably going to have the lion's share of the time.
Gotcha. Okay. I think that's fair. We start with that first. Wait. I'm sorry. Does anyone object to that course of action?
Well, if we're gonna be blocking out time, we should have clear criteria. We wouldn't want somebody to come in and be like, "Yeah, I want to discuss this particular topic," and then that ends up not allowing somebody who has a pip that we could review. So I think there should be specific criteria for actually blocking out the time.
I think
But
what they mean is that if it's a peer review, we will announce it so people know that we are actually
Right.
doing the review that day, and the author is going to be there.
Carlos, go to slide 9.
But I
yeah,
think
in
this
general,
simplifies a lot, and I think the ultimate impact of it will be, especially since we're broadcasting it, you'll create 2 hours of content that people will be able to, in one shot, feel really caught up on the DAO once a week, and it'll actually be engaging and something people would want to tune in for.
You're
Or at the
not
very least,
seeing.
create a TLDR of it so they can tune in for a simplified version.
Exactly.
Yeah, 5-minute clip or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that.
If our
Okay.
content creators don't already do it, like Beyond the Horizon, like here's everything that happened this week in the DAO in 5 minutes.
Yeah, if they want to do it,
Someone else watches it and makes it. Yeah.
That would have been perfect for Beth.
Yes.
All right. Read that back to me now. So the priority for office hours were. I think I heard Emperor call out an exception there that we need to figure out. What was it?
I don't think so.
You said
I was
if we're
saying
gonna
we need. I think it was me that you're referring to. We need to have like a clear qualification for if we're gonna put it into like let's say 4 blocks that second hour, and we're gonna give you know up to 4 people the opportunity to block out 15 minutes. We need to have like clear criteria. Um, I feel like we should have we should in generally I think we should generally like want it to be open discussion. I don't think it would be.
No, I
I think
agree
we
with
should.
you, buddy. I think it shouldn't be structured as an appointment, with the exception that if we are gonna give feedback about a PIP because the author is gonna be there,
Yeah,
we'll announce it so people know that among the open discussion, there's gonna be a section where we're actually gonna give feedback to the author.
And the author
100%.
takes precedence over the other general conversation.
But that's
Yeah,
the
I
only
think.
thing I would announce. Everything else should be laid back and open because that has
Like,
worked well so far.
yeah, exactly. And we also need to decide, is this just for the first review? Are we going to allow them to do this for multiple reviews? Because we give them feedback and then they go make some changes, and then sometimes it requires a bit of back and forth. So
No,
ideally, we can
I
have the
say
majority
for
of that.
one time live thing, and then we can continue. The feedback directly is going to be make it more efficient and streamline it, and
Right.
people
Yeah, I feel
interested
like
are already going to be
95% of it
following.
should be individual, and like maybe 5% of it's public.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think giving between 15 and like at most like 30 minutes of that 1 hour. It's just, ideally like more like 15 minutes just to go quickly over, not go into the nitty-gritty like we were doing um before, but just like, does he have the summary? Does he have the, just the check boxes just right off the bat, you know?
Yeah,
Then
and
we
that it
should
makes
have the
sense as
answers
well.
going in too. Like we shouldn't do like a live reading of the PIP. It should be like, okay, here's your time. We
Mm,
reviewed it on Friday or whatever. Like, here's what we got for you, you know?
Exactly.
And that way it's
yeah.
much more to the chase, quick back and forth of like, here's what we think you need to clean up. Oh, okay, would it work if I did this? Yeah, that would probably work just fine. And then we're able to keep going. Versus if we do it as like a live reading, like there's no way you'll move fast.
'True.
100%.
That's true. So then priority goes to
I
PIP
like
authors who have already been reviewed by SAC2.
Bingo.
Okay, and
I don't
then
think if volume is going to be a big problem for a while, but if it gets to that point, knocking on wood, we could start then distribute, and rotating people. So someone comes with a summary and then explains to everyone else in the tag meeting what's going on with that PIP.
gotcha. The only thing that seemed squirrely was 15 minutes per PIP. Did I hear did I hear us agree that that's a good way to
I
go?
think we should I don't think we should have a minimum. I think we should have a maximum. I think it should be
Yeah.
like, I think we should at least have 30 minutes for just the general public to interact.
Yeah, I would
Um,
say if we're doing like a quick PIP review, like again, because we should have already pre-reviewed it. Like I think 15 minutes should be the max for a PIP review slot
and that
in
lets us
office
do two.
hours.
Then we can do up to two and still have 30
And still
minutes
have
left.
community. Yeah, I love it. That's perfect.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. So then
That is open conversation, so they can keep asking questions.
at the beginning
Yeah.
of that second hour, then we say, hey, is anyone here a PIP author who wants to do PIP things? And then if yes, the first come, first serve, that person gets the first 15-minute slot. And then the second person gets the second 15. And if no, then we just roll right into general Q&A and discussions.
And the
Well,
pre-requirement is if you want to do a PIP review, it has to have been pre-reviewed by us. You have to schedule that.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can ask general questions in the 30 minutes, but like an
yeah,
actual public PIP review, everyone here should have already seen it, has notes on it, like, and we're coming in like, here's what we got for you.
yep.
Okay.
So
And
we
I don't think
avoid live readings.
and I don't think it should necessarily be, framed as a 15-minute slot. I just think we should cap it at 15 minutes. So if the first one only
Absolutely.
takes 7 minutes, then we don't need to put an extra 8 minutes on it just to drag it out. We can
Right.
get a third one in if we got three really short ones.
100%. Yeah. I'm pretty sure if I came in here to talk about like my PIP, you guys had all reviewed it already and had feedback for it. We could go back and forth on it in like 5-10 minutes max and get a lot accomplished. And then I'm walking away knowing what I got to do. Um, so yeah, I think 15 minutes should be the max cap. There's no minimum.
All right.
I think we got a good start. Let's
Cool.
give it a shot.
Let's
Yeah, let's
give it a
fucking
go.
man.
All right. And the
All right.
last thing, we got
See what
6
breaks.
minutes. We got 6 minutes left. What should be public versus private? I feel like we kind of got into that already. Tag
Yeah.
ups, it feels like we all agree tag ups are public. Internals are not. Did anyone
Yeah,
disagree with that?
Basically internals. Yeah, basically just internals.
And
Okay.
essentially, just so people listening know, like the reason why internals are non-public, half the time is just it's all kinds of other shit that we're not even allowed to talk about publicly, or it's stuff involving things that might be disclosed from team members or this or that. Like even if we wanted those things to be public, we wouldn't allow. It wouldn't be possible to do so. So it shouldn't be taken as, well, now they're going to go hide in a back room,
Yeah.
and do this other stuff.
Okay. The only person who I think disagreed, not even disagreed, had a different take was Emperor said maybe we do internals not public but bi-weekly instead of weekly. He floated that one.
No, I think we're all on the same page now. You can erase that.
Okay. So we're
Yeah, we all have
all of us
same
agree
perspective.
once a week tag up as public and once a week internal not public. Did I write that down wrong for anyone?
Yeah.
As well as after the tag up, we're doing an additional hour with everything we just
Yeah.
discussed.
So for the
Shifting
tag
office
ups,
hours to being the tail of the tag up.
yeah,
The
at this
official
point,
one.
the tag up's going to end up being 1 hour, and then office hours is going to end up being 1 hour, and together they are our Saturday 2-hour block.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Cool.
And I think that creates a really awesome thing for people to tune in and just listen for 2 hours once a week and go like, okay, I feel really caught up on the DAO.
Yeah,
They would be.
I'm a fan. All right. So that one, we just killed all 4 of those agenda items. The next one is probably our heavy hitter, which we might want to table until next week. Is Emperor's what is our mission statement, and then the DAO Council goals. Then Signal, we're going to go
Yeah,
over swim lanes, and Bodhi wanted to lock in transferring social media.
I think we talked about Bodhi's. We touched on it for sure.
Oh,
I
because
think
the
at
action
least all of
items.
us are on the same page. Like we were
True.
talking about getting a hold of the foundation company or whatever.
Hey, I'm doing some updates in the knowledge base regarding the new console because the last post had been about the candidates for the election.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
guys don't have access yet until you finally, come all the way in. So I just posted a screenshot for you guys to tell me
Okay.
if that's
Sounds
good
good.
to be merged or not.
Bodhi, do
Okay.
you feel like we talked about your agenda item, or is there more to it?
Yeah, we just need to meet when we get the meeting with the foundation. We just gotta, kind of hold their feet to the fire a bit and just be like, "Yo, we need this like right now."
Cool. Cool. All right. We walk in with
And we
demands.
can put we can put mine off till next week.
All right. So we just knocked out 5 of them, and with 3 minutes left. So what sort of
Bingo.
thing do we go out on? Do we do like everyone high fives each other? Do we want to sing a song? How do
Oh Jesus! Don't ask Signal.
Yeah, does anyone from the audience just want to chuck something out there super fast?
Yeah, because you can just unmute yourself.
You've got 2 minutes.
If you'd like to talk, please
Open to
do.
any questions?
Anybody.
Any comments? Any compliments?
Oh Jesus!
I'm just kidding. My mom used to say that all the time. She used to be a ropes course facilitator. She'd be like, "Anybody have any questions, comments, compliments?" You can squeeze that one in there.
We've probably closed the window on that at this point anyway, given our time constraints. But yeah, just I think we have a really awesome team. I mean, even just this format and the way that we went through this stuff, the fact that we quickly tackled a whole bunch of different items cooperatively and publicly, and in front of a bunch of different people at once, I think we've got a capacity to get a shit ton of stuff done and have a huge impact. And looking forward to working with all of you in the community. And I think we got something special here.
I'd say that's
Yeah,
as
and if
good as
anyone
any.
has anyone has feedback, just let us know. I love jumping in, voice chat, and all of that, and even in the chat here. So if you feel like something's going sideways, you just gotta let us know. We don't know
Yeah.
what we don't know, and just we're always open. So
Right on.
Vivi, you are dismissed.
Thank you all for your
And-
time. And
and I will say,
go team go.
Hold on, Lancer, before you wrap up, Lancer,
Oh.
thank you for putting this together with your social media skills, your streaming and all that. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah,
we
man.
appreciate you for doing it.
I love it.
We
I
should
love this
get
stuff.
Atlas Miner to play at the end of these.
Absolutely.
Right on.
Thank you
Go
guys
team,
for
go.
stepping up.
All right, see y'all.
Bye.
Take care, guys.